welcome to Lugiami Empower series on every Wednesday live at 9 p.m. where we interview some of the most empowering and inspiring females out there. My name is Melisha Lynn, or you can call me Mel, and I'm your host for tonight. And today, I have a special guest that I brought with me. Of course, you can't see her yet. Oh no. I think she's like waving to you. But I'm going to read out her portfolio before I introduce you guys to this very special guest. So she's currently a paralegal while waiting to be called to the bar after completing her pupillage. I need to ask her what is that. I Google it, but I still don't understand. She has experience doing dispute resolution work in a wide range of practice areas. In 2018, she founded dearHER, I love the name by the way, a youth-led woman empowerment organization focusing on the issues of sexual harassment and violence against women. Go girl. dearHER has organized a number of activities throughout the years. A major project by dearHER is CaknaSiswa, hopefully I say it right, which aims to make universities and college campuses safer via policies and campaign. Apart from dearHER, Anis has also participated in other initiatives for the youth, such as Parliament Digital, Youth Southeast Asia ASEAN Leaders Initiative, and the Kuala Lumpur Summit 2019 Youth Chapter. Wow, such an inspiring youth already. Her hopes for the future, don't cringe, are to create more progress for women's rights and safety and career-wise. Okay, if you laugh, I'm going to start laughing. And start her own law firm. So introduce to all of you this incredible woman, Anis Baharin. Oh, inspiring, right? Inspiring. I hope you enjoy the introduction. Not
Thank
cringy
you.
At all.
Thank
I hope
you.
I did it well.
No, it's fine.
It's fine. It's fine. Okay. I consider myself funny. Hopefully you do too. But hello, everyone. I hope you're enjoying the session so far, even though it's just an introduction. So grab your snacks, your tea, and we'll be chatting more. So the first question, Anis, what you had for dinner?
Oh, what did I have for dinner? I told you I forget easily. I think it was just rice, eggs, and veggie. Yeah. Was that interesting? Okay.
I mean, that's a typical Malaysian cuisine, I think.
Yeah.
Everyone eats rice. I had nasi goreng kampung as well.
Whoa.
Any nasi goreng kampung fan out there? For sure. No one? Just me?
Not me.
Not you?
Not
Why?
me.
You don't eat spicy food at all?
I think in terms of nasi goreng, I prefer nasi goreng USA.
Is that the one with the chili sauce and below
That's
that's
the,
papaya?
usually it's like daging, beef fried, and then fried egg, and it's fried rice. I don't know how to describe it, but it's a good mixture.
I think audiences are getting more hungry.
It's what I aim to do.
Okay. Next, my first for real question. Many would consider law as a male-dominated field. As a paralegal, how did you make yourself stand out apart from the obvious? Okay.
I don't know what is apart from the obvious. Okay. Sure.
I mean, apart from you being a woman.
I actually am, because I just started. Paralegal is very early. I'm not even a lawyer yet.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say, I'm gonna be humble and just be like, I don't stand out yet. It's especially in this field where seniority really matters. It'll probably take me much longer time to stand out. But I do think it's a fun fact. It's actually if you want to say the legal industry is a male-dominated industry, it's not really in terms of numbers at least, because fun fact, in terms of numbers, there are actually more female lawyers in Malaysia than male lawyers. Yeah, which is quite interesting. I think only in terms of the area of criminal law, it has more male lawyers, but otherwise the other fields of law is actually more female. But I would say that even though there are more females than males, I would still consider it some form of male-dominated industry because it's not just about numbers, right? I would still say that it's quite still patriarchal in nature in terms of the culture and so forth. Yeah.
So what are you into actually? What's the scope? Is it criminal law? Is it,
I'm in civil litigation, which means later on when I'm a lawyer, I can go to court, but for civil matters only. Yeah. Kind of sad I'm not criminal law.
I mean, I would love. Okay, just to tell you guys, I used to want to be a criminal psychologist. So I think that is pretty cool. But you know
What was your
what? In
favorite TV
Malaysia,
show? It came from that, right?
TV,
No?
it came from there. It came from there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it came from there. But you know, it's too expensive here in Malaysia, and also there's not many universities that have that cost.
Oh, makes sense.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Makes sense.
But of course, I like the scope that you're going into. I think you would be an incredible lawyer someday when you get called to the bar.
Hopefully.
So the next, I think this is the most important question for any person like you. What was the reason you started an NGO focusing on women empowerment in Malaysia?
For me, I felt like I always wanted to do something. So I've always wanted to go into activism. When I was a child, I was more into environment, saving the animals and stuff. And then as I grew older into like a woman, I realized that just all women have this collective experience of, either being harassed or, being discriminated, facing inequalities. So I was thinking that considering I'm quite vocal as a person, I just couldn't stand it. I felt like I wanted to do something about it. So I just decided I wanted to join an organization. And I looked up, I Googled, I did a lot of research about the organizations in Malaysia to do with women empowerment and so forth. And I think that they are great, but I didn't, at that time in 2018, I couldn't really find one which really spoke to me as a young woman with like the vibe of young women and women's issues. So I decided that maybe I should just create my own. And so I called some of my friends and they were like, that's kind of cool. And I was like, why don't I just do it? Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I think coming from a youth standpoint and also women, it's really cool having a organization or initiative dedicated to women, especially in this area because it's very neglected here in Malaysia. Yeah. I think the number of cases and the numbers of calls, coming from a mental health NGO, the number of calls reached about 2% on abuse and also issues on marriage and domestic violence. So it's quite worrying. So having you to focus on such areas, it's really cool.
Thank you.
So next question for you. Oh, this is a very, I would say controversial. This is a controversial.
Should I be worried?
I don't think so. I think it's still pretty cool.
Okay.
Yeah, but I heard that you were one of the chosen one to speak on like a trial digital parliament. And, as a youth, as a woman, as someone who is interested in politics, how would you encourage women to venture into politics? Or how can we start? Where to start?
Right. I think the first conversation that has to happen before that is whether the current political environment is even a field that women and girls feel safe into going into or feel supported to go into. Because I see that a lot of the times when it comes to discussions about women going to politics, most of the discussion is saying like, why aren't there enough women and like, trying to encourage women to enter. But I think we have a collective duty as like a society to make politics more of a better environment for women to enter, to be politicians in the first place. Because if you realize, even though politics in general is quite, like a messy, gritty industry, as usual, but then I would say that for female politicians, it's even harder. There's even more criticism, is even more harsh. There's like harassment, even death threats, sexual assault threats on some of the representatives. So I feel like itself, like we can't really blame women and girls for not wanting to go into something which is really that bad. We have to change that environment first and change the mindset first. And then like we get to encourage like women to enter and say that they will be supported, that it is a safe place for them. Yeah.
Have you ever faced such unpleasant environment like you yourself?
I would say I have. Yeah, I have. So
Oh
I think
my.
that's like what really put me off. Like when I was younger, I guess I did want to become a politician, you know, basically like tell everyone I wanted to be the first prime minister of Malaysia, even though it was quite embarrassing. But when I think about it now, I'm like, whoa, okay. But after a while, as I got older and I kind of, because I keep up with politics quite a lot, so I can see exactly how women are like portrayed, like by newspapers, by the media, the politicians, and how they're treated. I just don't think I can go through that. That would just be so bad for for me and my health and so forth. So that's why I've tried to kind of look for other ways to contribute to like the nation instead. Yeah.
I really am into, that aspect. I always feel like us as an individual, we have obligation to play a part or play a role in the society, whether it's helping another individual or coming out with an NGO like you, or even venturing into areas that other women might not want to venture into, such as politics. And I think definitely there's a lot of bad things when it comes to women. I don't know why, I think it's the environment, like what you said. I totally agree. Especially, here at Lugiami Gaming, we have so many streamers,
Yeah.
female streamers and gamers. My girls, two girls just got harassed on their stream. Basically, a bunch of guys just raided them and started saying really bad things to women. And it's terrible. And it harmed their mental health for weeks, two
Exactly.
weeks. And she didn't spoke to me. And I was like, oh no, what happened? And I saw the whole thing on a video. And thank God he got reported and they banned him from Twitch. But that's only one person that you see. If you are someone who is very strong like you and me, we are strong, we dare to speak out, like, tell other people, stand up for ourselves. But there are other women that are not as vocal as we are. So how would you encourage them to be more vocal in standing up for themselves and not being a bystander? I would say, every woman in their life probably have been a bystander at least, or not stand up for themselves. So how would you encourage that?
I actually understand that can be quite like scary and daunting, like in situations where you're being harassed, especially in real life. Even me myself, after like having that knowledge and experience of how to react, I still wouldn't know how to react. So I think for what I think is the best way is actually finding a support system, because we're always better in numbers, right? It's like going to war. You can't just go to war on your own. You got to get a whole army. So I do see like a lot of networks popping up like Lugiami, where you build a community.
Yeah,
So
nice.
just seek out your sisters. Just tell them what's happened. I can guarantee you, like, some of your friends and everything will build up and help you get the courage to like report on behalf of you. You don't have to be alone. I think that's when it gets really hard.
Nice. I think that's very true. I think having a community is very important. Question: if you guys are comfortable to share, please share some examples of the harassment you have gone through. Would you be comfortable to share maybe one experience?
Sure. Actually, it's not really my own experience, but I was in there. So basically, me and my friend, we were at a restaurant, and I think we were just eating, chilling out, as girlfriends do. Then suddenly this guy comes, and I guess he was trying to ask my friend for her number.
Mhm.
And so he just started harassing us, especially when she said no. And then we kind of, because there were three of us, so he was trying to hit on one. And then the other two of us, we were trying to say like no, 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 like try to get him to back off, because he wouldn't take her word for no. And then he somewhat became aggressive. So, but then my other friends, see, I told you, it's even me. Like, I'm not that great in those kinds of situations either. It's totally understandable. But my other friend, she's like, she got even more aggressive, and then the guy finally backed off. But it was quite a long time. We became quite scared of the situation, like even to go back to our car in the car park, after that. But then, yeah, that was the situation. It's just like when guys don't understand the word no.
I'm just joking. I'm not condoning any violence. No violence, guys. But I totally understand how scary it is after such encounter, like to go
Exactly.
back to a car, to go back to your house. I think for me, I have many encounters like that because of my work scope. I used to work at events, so I get home really late most of the time, and I walk from the LRT station to my house is about 3 kilometers every day. So some days I come back around 9 or 10, and yeah, you get the catcalling, the I mean, apart from catcalling, the worst ones are the very persistent ones, which they follow you
Exactly.
until like you're home, which is
Yeah.
really scary because one time this dude literally just came to me. I'm like, where do you stay? Not even where do you stay. I remember it. He said, like, I know where you live. You live at that house, right? Blah, 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 and my address. And I'm like, um, I guess so. I don't know.
Stalkers are the scariest. Stalkers,
I mean, I think that's why, every time, when I walk home, I try to like walk another round. So just to make sure no one is following me.
But that's
it's
the thing, we have to do so many things just to avoid these situations. They shouldn't.
Exactly. Teach your kids, man. Teach your kids.
Exactly.
Respect women. Okay. Next question. Any encouragement to those women who has been violated and got harassed by men who are afraid to speak up? So what encouragement can you give them now? So you have said the advice is to have a support group, but what encouragement could you give?
I learned these kinds of sayings at a workshop where if we like meet a survivor, what we should say, and I might not remember all of it, but essentially you should just say like, thank you for sharing that with me, and I believe you, and you were brave. So basically you should just give them like words of affirmation, words of encouragement, and say that they are strong and they are brave, and you should definitely confirm it as well, because I think there's a lot of survivors who kind of doubt themselves, like whether their experience was true or not. And there's a lot of other people who kind of ask them, are you lying? Are you sure it's truth? So it feels like it gives them a lot of comfort when you say like, I believe you and I believe your story. I think that like when they told me about that, I almost cried because I was like, it's true. It's true. Sometimes all we need are just like these comforting, very simple words. Yeah.
I think that it is very true. I feel like if anyone comes up to me and say like, I believe what you said, I believe what he done to you was terrible, and like really affirm me, I feel like, sometimes I even overthink. Like there are moments in the LRT, sometimes we got during the peak hours, sometimes you get touched and everything at sensitive areas, and you'll be like, did he touch me? Like, was it like a coincidence, or, was it real? And you'll be like thinking and thinking.
Yeah. No,
so I
but
totally get
like the worst part is like when people ask me like, are you sure it happened? So they make me doubt.
What are you wearing?
I know, right? So it's like I already have this internal dilemma. Like I don't need external. So it would be like, I think it would be amazing for me if somebody just said, I believe you.
I don't understand how people could ask another woman or like a man, like after them getting violated, and be like, what are you wearing? Was it at night? Like, were you drinking?
Doesn't make sense.
What top are you wearing? I'm like, what is the correlation?
Doesn't. People have been catcalled while wearing school uniforms, so there's no correlation.
Baju kurung,
everything, like name whatever.
I'm
whatever. There's no correlation.
I just feel like it's our parts at this point. It's not even the clothes anymore. It's just because we are women or man, Yeah. This is an interesting one. How would you describe your experience having to run an NGO during these times? Especially, we are basically homebound for almost 2 years.
So this is gonna get quite honest. So during the beginning of the pandemic, we were trying to still stay active, like despite, and so we had internal trainings quite regularly, and we organized talks, and we even collaborated with other organizations to do a food bank to give food to refugees. However, like I think somewhere maybe halfway point about the pandemic, I think it all got to us, like the pandemic got to us. It took a mental strain on us, and we wanted to recognize like the fact that we we definitely can't go forward. And for me also, I was doing my pupillage, which is, if anyone knows the legal industry, it's quite intense. So
Can
I
you
just
describe? Can you tell me what is it? Because I googled it. I don't.
Right. It's okay. So because we used to be colonized by the British, so everything we have is British. So the our legal industry kind of mirrors them. So we have this 9 months of training called pupillage. So you have to do 9 months of training in pupillage before you can become officially a lawyer. Yeah.
Okay. So it's like an intern.
Is it? Sure.
No?
Sure. Yes.
Layman terms, guys.
We have internships as well. And
Oh,
even
okay.
I think some places have mini pupillage, even like a pupillage before. I don't understand. But during pupillage, you actually have to do quite a lot of things. Like you have to file quite a lot of papers to the court, and you have an exam, and you have to do legal aid. I don't know. There's so many things to do before you can actually become a lawyer. Yeah. So that's that period of 9 months.
So how long does it take from foundation or diploma, degree, and then pupillage, and then become a lawyer?
Oh, it took so long because I'm a local grad. So I did pre-U here, and my pre-U foundation studies itself was already 1 year and a half, plus my degree. So that's already 5.5. Let's do some maths. and then because of the pandemic, my pupillage was delayed for like 3 months or something. And then I could do my pupillage, which was 9 months. Right. I'm not counting. So. And then my long call, or like basically the end of my pupillage, has also been quite delayed for like 2 months something. So it's been quite a long time.
So technically it's almost about 7. I think touching 7 years.
Let's not go.
Whoa, 7 years. Oh, like Shah just say like housemanship. Okay,
yes.
okay.
Some people were like, I don't know, some of my batchmates were like, I might as well have been a doctor. So long.
Okay.
Then, I think like for some other people it might be even longer, especially during the pandemic, because they have to take this exam called the CLP, which has been like postponed quite a lot. So I don't know. I think nowadays you're gonna get like really old lawyers at this point. It's like I just started out. I'm 27, so.
Whoa.
Yeah.
7 years just to be a lawyer, and it's not like even like pro, right? Like, do you need to add on more years to be like? I don't know. Specialist? Like doctors? Do you have like specialists?
I mean, you can be like it's an entirely different job though. We have this thing called an arbitrator, adjudicators, mediators. So you can get certified to be that. It's really complicated. Even I don't get it sometimes. I'm like, why?
I don't get it. But this is a really good question next by Nat. Nat asks you, what do you think is the role of man in woman empowerment? Oh, really nice question.
I think firstly they need it as much as us, because I think like a lot of the times we don't realize how much like feminism is actually beneficial to men as well. Because when we fight for like issues such as sexual harassment, sexual assault, and everything, we normally use more like gender neutral terms. So we say like we're against sexual harassment. We don't say sexual harassment against women only. So most of the like initiatives which fight against sexual harassment is by women organizations in the first place.
Yeah.
And then secondly, I think men do have to be more part of the discussion. And what I mean by that is talk to other people about it, because I think like it's some form of more of a taboo if men talk about it. But I think when it comes to like certain bad behavior from men, maybe it can work more if like a man talks to a man and just be like, that what you did was wrong. Like you have to know when to call out your friends.
Oh, I love that. I love that. I have friends that would call out another guy. Like seriously, I love that. By the way,
I don't know why, men, they like they trust other men more, like, they look up to other men more. So it sometimes works better than if like a woman says that it's wrong. Sadly, that's a sad truth. But yeah. So I think men really have to start, just calling each other out.
I think we need to listen more. I feel like, every time we just speak, every time, someone tell us something like the truth or anything, we will be so defensive and be like, oh no, it's not true. Instead of like take a step back and be like, okay, I understand you're being uncomfortable. I'll stop. Isn't that great? Like just being respectful. I think that's pretty cool. So my last question for you. Last question. All right.
Sure.
As an activist, as a gamer, since she played PUBG, guys. I know she don't look like a PUBG player, but she pew 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 as well. All right. What do you think about Lugiami's core in empowering female gamers and supporting their mental health? Basically, we have mental health workshops. We have women empowerment campaigns and stuff like that. So yeah, what do you think about it?
I think it's really cool. I actually told you before, right? Like I like to watch Chinese drama sometimes. So there's this Chinese drama that I'm watching. I'm trying to be relatable, guys. That basically is about gaming. I think it's called Falling in Love with Your Eyes or whatever. So she's a female gamer, and she's like the first professional female gamer in China. But because she's the first female one, she gets a lot of hate online and people saying like she can't play because she's a female. So essentially, what's happening to her would be online bullying. And I think that happens a lot, like in real life as well. So I think having communities like this, just people saying that, like being a gamer has nothing to do with your gender, I think is a really good thing to happen.
Nice.
Good job, guys.
Okay, whoever that needs, my help, I don't mind. Not here, but on keyboard.
Yeah, exactly. I think like having a community online itself, like if there's hate comments, it should be like supportive comments as well.
Yes, but definitely I would encourage you guys, if you get any hate comments, always try to reply with kindness. You don't need to stoop down to their level. I think I truly believe in that. Sometimes only give it when it's necessary.
You can
All
also
right,
report it as well.
Yeah, report it. Support another female streamer, female gamer. So anyway, time is limited, guys. So once again, I would like to thank Anis for being here with me. She's really cool. We talk about law. We talk about woman empowerment. I know I'm cool as always.
Okay. Okay.
We talk about so many things. I hope that she didn't discourage you from being a lawyer.
No,
I hope you still feel, And that is all, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. And Anis, thank you once again. Amazing work. I can't wait to have another session with you. Of course, we're having another session.
Definitely have one already. Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you everyone for watching. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Bye, guys. Bye.